Guys, it's been a while. It's been a long time. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video, I just wanted to give you a quick reading recap of the last 3 months. So I'm giving you January, February and March. So we're going to start with January, and in the month of January, or should we start in March and roll back? No. The first book I read this year was Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu. I'm going to look at the surname. Toshikazu Kawaguchi. A lot of people in their reviews said that they thought it was boring, but I really enjoyed that being my first book of the year. I do want to read the rest of the series. I haven't got to it yet. The story of being able to go back in time by having some coffee, it just... Towards the end of last year, I got into my magical realism bag. So I really enjoyed that and I rated that 5 sparkles. So that was my first book and first 5-star rating. Then I read the arc for Not in My Book by Katie Holt, which is now available so you can buy it. And I have been raving about this on Instagram. I recommend it to all the romance girlies. You need to read this book. 2 writers, they have to write a book together. They don't like each other. Okay, it's enemies to lovers. I'm sorry. If you love an enemies to lovers trope, you need to read this book. They're in this class together, this writing course, and they don't like each other because they don't like the genres that each other writes. And one of them's an actual asshole. Anyways, but it's not the point. But when they have to work together on this assignment to create this book, that is the vibe for this book. You need to read it. And obviously that was a 5-star read. And that's Katie's first, like her debut, and that's Katie's debut book. So I am just like, Katie, I'm on your case now. Katie, I am your #1 fan at this point because I had to go to the works and buy the copy after I'd read it and then it came out. That book is probably up my top book in January. The next one I read was Bring Up a Bad Boy by Catherine Garbera. It's part of a series and it's the 3rd one. I didn't read the first 2, but I felt like I wasn't missing out because I didn't read the first 2. And I'd happily read the first 2 at a later stage and maybe read all 3. The premise of the book was so good and I liked the including all the witchy stuff because I am a crystal girl and I may look at my chart and look at my horoscope girly pop. Co-star is my best friend sometimes when it's not telling me rude things, and I really liked the fact that my 2 worlds became one. And to become one, people gotta make love to you, baby. Now make for more, ooh, to you. Said you marry me, and it's the only way. Okay, I need to not do that. I next read, is this in January still? Jesus Christ, I read quite a few books in January. So I then read 1, 2, 3, 4, all 4 books of the Marla Murder Club series. So for the Marla Murder Club, which is the first book, I really, really enjoyed it. And I had already watched the first season because it's a series. And I really enjoyed the series and my flatmate really, really enjoys the author. So the first book, The Marla Murder Club, is 4 sparkles. I'm looking over here because my Goodreads is open and the second book, Death Comes to Marlowe, I put that as 5 sparkles. I felt like I was in my detective bag. I felt like I could have joined the crew for this one. I was like, yeah, I know who the killer is. I've got this. Then Queen of Poisons. That one threw me around like a raggedy plastic bag in the wind. Shout out to Katy Perry. I was like, who the hell? That one I did as 5 sparkles as well. Then we've got the last book that's recently come out this year, and that's Murder on the Marlowe Bell. That one had me hooked. It had me on edge. I was on edge throughout that whole book, and I rated that 5 sparkles. And that's literally all of January. So in January I read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books. In February, I started with Intermezzo by Sally Rooney. I'd never read a Sally Rooney book before, so the first couple of chapters really threw me in the bin. I'm not even gonna joke around it. The no speech marks really upset my soul spirit and ancestors. I was having a hard time figuring out what was speech and what was thought. But after a while, I kind of got into the book and kind of got what it was talking about. I don't want to say I like the fact it was about grief, but the whole process of the two characters, their brothers, going through the same grief together, but it looking completely different to the both of them was really nice to like read about. But they're both seriously messed up in the head and they need some therapy, they need some help, they need a little something that I could never give them. I don't know if I'm going to read another Sally Rooney book. I'd like to read that Normal People, that one, but I know in my heart and in my chest and every cavity and cell of my body that I won't rush to do that. I rated Intermezzo a 3 sparkles because I don't know, the book, after I thought about it, it was just not, it was a good book, very good, a good plot and whatnot, very good writing aside from the speech marks debacle. But I think the premise of the book was not what I look for in a book. As I said, I love escapism in a book, and that was giving me none of it. And I was like, shit, they've got so much shit to deal with, so have I, and they're not helping me. I need a dragon to fly through here and pick this man up and breathe fire on his enemies. I am a high rating girl, but that one is a 3 for me because I think that would work for people who enjoy books like that, but it was boring in ways for me. But I kept going and I finished it, and I'm glad that I finished it. Then we've got Queen of Fives, which I read as an arc, and this is by Alex Hay. It was such a great plot, but I feel like it just wasn't executed amazing. Does that make sense? The plot was giving. Like, I read the synopsis of this book and I thought, I'm gonna eat this up. I didn't want to keep reading, if that makes sense. This is a book I think would be great in a one sitting, read the whole thing. I rated this a 3 sparkles. I'm so sorry, Alex Hay. The plot was giving. I thought jackpot, but just some of the way it was executed could have been maybe a bit better. And I feel weird saying that because I'm not a writer, but I do enjoy a story. You know what I mean? I enjoy a story. Right, so next is Seal the Deal by Hayley Roger, and this was one of my first hockey romances. I enjoyed this book. Okay, support your indie authors. If I had no job, my work really gets in the way. If I had no job, I would have ate that in a day. That would have been devoured. I've watched a hockey game before and I really did enjoy it, right? But this book made me want to support a team, become a fan, be at the front. I wouldn't mind if I married a hockey player, because now I think I'm actually obsessed. I watched a TikTok the other night and it was just these hockey guys taking off their helmets and shaking their hair, and I was mesmerized. I was looking at my phone like this is me looking at the people them shaking their hair. Oh, amazing. Smiling at my phone like, scroll for another one. Searching, my search bar has hockey hair in it because it does something to me apparently, and big arms. Anyways, back to the book. Seal the Deal by Hayley Roger. I would recommend. It's a second chance romance, and when they come back together, there's a cute little girl in it as well. Oh, I want to read it again. I put this one as 4 sparkles, and I was going to read my review, but I don't want to do that. The next one is The Christmas Tree Farm by Laurie Gilmore. And for all of you people out there, I am a Laurie Gilmore slut. I am so far up Laurie Gilmore's arse that I don't even know what the meaning of life is when I'm reading her books. I am so in the world of Dream Harbor. It is embedded in my personality. And you see Bennett Ellis. He was doing things. He was so sweet and kind. And then when the door closed, he was not sweet and kind anymore. But it was great. Dream Harbor, I never want it to die. I think if Laurie Gilmore ever announces that she's doing the final book of Dream Harbor, I think my heart will crack a bit. And I actually think I would cry for like 20 days and 20 nights. because what would I do without them? Like, I've got Strawberry Patch Pancake House, and I can't wait to read it, but I also need to wait to read it. Do you get what I mean? Obviously, that's 5 sparkles, guys. Laurie Gilmore never fails for me. She always does the thing. She always hits the right spots for my eyes and my chest and my toes. She and my stomach, them butterflies. Because I'd be going, I think you'd... For February, my top book was probably Christmas Tree Farm. Let's not lie here. I was gonna say, actually, Christmas Tree Farm and then Seal the Deal is like close up its arse. Now we've got March, and I feel like I've read a substantial amount for March. I'm currently challenging myself to get my NetGalley to 100% on the ratio. That video, or part 1 of that video, will be out soon. But I also want to do, I feel like I'm doing spoilers. I also want to do a video where I read some of my booktubers 1-star reads. So I started that, and the first book of March was a 1-star read from somebody else, and that is Tell Me Lies by Carola Lovering. And I just want to say, I don't even want to say don't read that book. I just want to say I agree with the 1-star, but I didn't rate it a 1-star. At first I was like, oh, this is quite cool, but then it just became repetitive. Both of the characters, the main characters, are actually stupid. And Stephen is crazy, but what is even the girl's name? She was hooked on this guy. For what? What was he giving? He was giving nothing, and I was getting mad. Like, this book I've put as 2 sparkles, 2 stars, because it invoked emotion in me. I've never been so close to just not wanting to read the rest of a book before in my life. The book just made me so angry. I was getting angry with all the characters in this bloody book. So read at your discretion. Watch out for that video, because I've actually had to pause because that one if I'm reading multiple 1-stars, I'm scared that it's going to take me 17 years to read these books, because that one took me too long. I was fighting for my life. Next we have At the Waterfall by Smardleen. This was an arc, and I really enjoyed this one. I found this one really cute. It had a sprinkle of ancestry in it, and it was like the 2 main characters, their great-grands or whatever parents, were actually lovers. I don't want to spoil it, but basically those 2 lovers, and then obviously that they're their ancestors, and then they meet each other. And I just think that, why can't something like that happen to me? Like, why? I put that as 4 sparkles. Next we have Unlikely Neighbours by Renee Daniel Flagler. This was a arc as well. I think this is like my first proper black romance, and tears in my eyes. Tears in my bloody eyes. I enjoyed it. It was such a cute book. I don't even know what else to say about it. I just thought it was really cute and good vibes. Next we have Always on My Mind, which was also an arc. I don't know if it's out yet. I think it is out actually. And this is by Karis Green. This was one of the best books that I've read in a while. The whole, I feel like a lot of these books, I'm like, I wish I could have just sat down and read the book all in one, because work really do be doing things. Unfortunately, I have to work to pay for these books and to you know, keep a roof over my head. I wish I could sit and read all day, because that is just, whose dream is not to do that? So you would have your significant other be able to hear your thoughts, and obviously you can control your thoughts and stuff. However, there's a glitch in the matrix, and now you're sharing dreams, you're sharing memories in dreams. Is that not cool? And I thought it was crazy, because I don't think I would necessarily sign up for something like that, because I think I'd be too annoying for my partner to be able to want to hear what's going on in my brain all the time. I think that book could be my top for March. I just enjoyed it too much. It was so good. Yeah, I rated that 5 sparkles. Next we have Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. It took me so long to read this book. I read up to 40%, and I had quite a few days worth of break. I think I actually started this in February and I finished it in March. When I picked it back up, I just read the rest of the whole thing. So I read 60% of the book in one sitting, and I cried. I don't even know if I'll have a clip, but I cried. My review for this Put it on the screen. What am I supposed to do? I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say about it. If you're getting into the series, may the odds be in your favour. I rated it 4 sparkles. Last but not least, we've got The Best Bad Decision. And I just thought it was very, very cute. And that's literally all I have to say about it. It's a very cute story. And I would recommend to read some indie authors, man. Because they've got some cute shit going on out there. I rated this one 4 sparkles. So that is my reading wrapped for the first 3 months of 2025. What did I say my top books were? Not in My Book by Katie Holt, The Christmas Tree Farm, Laurie Gilmore, and then Always on My Mind by Caris Green. Yeah, by Caris Green. Right, so I'll see you guys in my next video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And also subscribe if you haven't subscribed to my channel, because I need to know that you love me. But yeah, see you in the next video. See you next week, guys. Bye-bye. Who doesn't like books? It just makes me